We are 5 weeks away from the All-Star weekend and halfway through the NBA season, which means it is a perfect time to pick our players for the All-Star game set in Salt Lake City. There have been a lot of outstanding individual performances, so there will be some tough cuts, but let's get to it. First, how this works. We're not deciding who will make the All-Star game. We're trying to decide based on individual numbers, impact, winning, and other factors which players should make the All-Star team. In all likelihood, this won't be the actual team that plays in Utah in February because fan votes, media votes, and whatnot will impact and skew the actual voting. And now for the positional requirements. Each conference selects 12 players, 4 guards and 6 forwards, and 2 wildcard spots that can go to either position. Let's start with the Eastern Conference. Between Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Eastern Conference forward spot is stacked with MVP caliber players. The thing is, that's 4 players and there are only 3 spots in the starting lineup, which means one of those guys is going to be coming off the bench. At the end of the day, it'll come down to games played between the 3, and as of right now, Embiid has played the least amount of games. The Philly big man will be coming off the bench, leaving Giannis, KD, and Tatum as our starters. But that could change with Durant expected to miss at least the next 2 weeks with an MCL sprain. As for the guards, there's only one lock to be a starter in the East, and that is Cavaliers guard Donovan Mitchell. He's having a career year, averaging career highs in points, three-point percentage, free throw percentage, and is a positive defender for the first time in his career, all while helping the Cavaliers to a top 5 spot in a loaded East. He is a lock to be a starter. The second guard spot is a little trickier. You can pick anyone from James Harden to Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton, Jaylen Brown, or Kyrie Irving, and you really wouldn't have a wrong answer. All of those players deserve to be all-stars, and in all likelihood, they probably all make it. I'm going to take Brown as my starter though. The Celtics have maintained the best offense in the league this season, and while Tatum's MVP caliber performance has been a huge part of that, Brown has been a juggernaut. He's averaging a career high in points, 26.8, absolutely destroying teams in the mid-range area, hitting 53% of his long mid-range shots. Again, I can hear arguments for any of the guards I mentioned, but I'm taking Brown because he has been a dominant offensive force on the best offensive team, which has the best record in the league. Don't kill me for it. Off the bench, Embiid gets one of our forward spots automatically. Irving, Harden, and Halliburton get 2 guard spots and 1 wild card spot. That leaves us with 1 wildcard spot and 2 forward spots. The 2 forwards I'm taking off the bench are Pascal Siakam and Bam Adebayo. Siakam is having a career year, averaging a career high 26 points, a career high 6.5 assists, and nabbing over 8 rebounds a night. The only other players this season putting up 25, 5, and 5 a night are Jokic, Luka, KD, Steph, Giannis, John Morant, and LeBron James. And you'll soon find out all of those guys are all-stars. Siakam is a lock, and if the forward spot wasn't stacked in the East, he'd probably be up for a starting spot. The same thing applies to Adebayo, who's putting up career numbers in points and has opened up his game offensively, all while being the most consistent player on the Miami Heat, playing the most games for them and playing all-world defense. As for the final wildcard spot, it can go to a number of players. Does Brook Lopez's Defensive Player of the Year campaign get him the nod as the second All-Star Buck? How about a second All-Star appearance for Jared Allen or Darius Garland? Jimmy Butler has missed a bunch of games, but in the ones he's played, he's been exceptional. Trae Young has had a down shooting year, but he's still putting up 27 points and 10 assists on a fringe playoff team. Then there's Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and even Julius Randle. There's a lot of talent in the East this year, but I forgot Jalen Brunson. Forgot Jalen Brunson. He's an all-star. He's getting my final spot. But I'm giving the final spot to Randall's teammate, the Knicks' big signing in the offseason, Jalen Brunson. Brunson is also putting up career numbers, all while leading New York to a top 6 spot in the East, and doing so while being their all-encompassing playmaker. He is the reason the Knicks are thriving right now. He has to get the nod. And those are our Eastern Conference All-Stars. Now, for the West. Much like how the Eastern Conference is jam-packed with talented forwards, the West is jam-packed with talented guards. Luka Doncic, Steph Curry, Ja Morant, Devin Booker, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, De'Aaron Fox, Damian Lillard, Anthony Edwards, Desmond Bane. There is a lot. Of all those names, I can hear arguments for any one of Luka, Steph, Ja, Booker, and SGA for starting spots. But again, it can only be two. Booker went down on Christmas with a groin injury and has missed a chunk of games this season. I think he's an all-star, but when we're deciding between starters and guys coming off the bench, games played should play a big factor. Steph Curry has missed even more games than Booker this year, but he returned earlier this week and will probably end up playing more games than Booker come All-Star time. But if we're not putting Book as a starter, we probably shouldn't put Steph in there as well. Although in actuality, Steph probably gets the nod. So between Luka, Ja, and SGA, you really can't go wrong. Ja is the winningest of the bunch, leading the Grizzlies to a top 2 seed in the West halfway through the season and putting up 27, 8, and 6 while doing so. SGA's Thunder team isn't winning like Luka's Mavs or Ja's Grizzlies, but he's putting up 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, and virtually carrying them on his back to play in contention. And Luka, right now, in many people's eyes, is the favorite for MVP, leading the league in points per game, dropping 34 a night, while nabbing over 8 rebounds and 8 assists, and doing all of that efficiently. Luka is a lock. I'm going to take Ja as my other starter, but again, you really can't go wrong here. As for the forward spots, speaking of MVPs, there is no doubt that Nikola Jokic will get the nod to start again. He is a lock, leading the Nuggets to the top spot in the West while putting up a near triple-double. Zion Williamson is my other lock. The Pelicans have been a top 3 seed, and that is without their second star Brandon Ingram for the majority of the season. Why? Because Zion has been everything he was advertised to be. LeBron James, in his 20th season, will be getting his 19th career All-Star nod, and he should start. He's still putting up nearly 30 points, 8 rebounds, and over 6 assists at age 38 years old. Yes, the Lakers are a mess, and they need to figure that out, but that is in spite of LeBron's greatness, not because of it. Off the bench, we already have our 2 guards in Steph and SGA, as well as Booker in our wild card spot. That leaves us with 1 wildcard spot and 3 forward spots. For the forwards, the Sacramento Kings will have their first All-Star since DeMarcus Cousins in 2017 with Domantas Sabonis this season. Sabonis has been the lifeblood of one of the best offenses in the NBA this season. He has been the perfect pairing with De'Aaron Fox, another All-Star candidate, and has perfectly meshed together with the Kings shooters to create a seamless offense. And the Kings are finally a playoff team because of it. He's a lock. Another lock is Anthony Davis. While he's only played 25 games so far this season, Davis is expected to return to the lineup soon for the Lakers and continue his All-NBA level campaign. Playing the majority of his minutes at center, Davis has been the interior presence the Lakers desired when they first traded for him. Offensively and defensively, he's been everything and more, and as long as he can stay healthy, he's an all-star. The final forward spot has to go to the man in Utah that is, in all likelihood, going to win the Most Improved Player award, Lauri Markkanen. Markkanen is averaging 24.5 points per game and over 8 rebounds while shooting better than 41% from 3 on 7 attempts a night. He's improved inside as well, knocking down a career-high 62% of his 2-point attempts. Markkanen was not this caliber of player last year. He has molded himself into an all-star and deserves the nod this season. Plus, the game is in Utah. The final wildcard spot is tough. Paul George, De'Aaron Fox, Lillard, and Edwards, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bane, there are a ton of options. I'm giving the nod to George, who has been quietly having a really good season, averaging 24, 6, and 5 on 45, 38, 88 shooting splits. He has been the best perimeter defender on one of the best defensive teams in the league, and with Leonard slowly coming to the lineup, it's been George who has kept the Clippers afloat. Selfishly, I would love Fox, who is finally playing on a playoff team, to get the nod, or Jackson Jr., who might end up winning Defensive Player of the Year to get some recognition. And I think ultimately either player could, but George's numbers are more impressive right now. And these are your Western Conference All-Stars. So, let me know what you think. If you agree or disagree, if you hate me, it's all part of it. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button and follow us on social media.